what was I getting at? So in the Old Testament, there was a lot of prophets that did a lot of healing. You would see God heal, I think here and there you would see him heal, like over his Israelites. I think you see it in Exodus and Deuteronomy and different things. But yeah, anyways, the point being is in the Old Testament there was no Jesus, and nobody had the authority to do really anything because Satan, the devil, Lucifer, whatever, had taken it away from Adam in the very, very beginning. He had taken away the authority, he had taken away the keys, and that was something Jesus had to get back. So understanding that was a big deal, and most people in the Old Testament did not understand it. They were solely dependent on God, which is fine. We should still be solely dependent on God. So anyway, so my point is, the Old Testament versus the New Testament. In the New Testament, we have all these more abundance, all these more things because of what Jesus did. And because it was a promise and a guarantee, like it's an automatic promise, guarantee, I did this, I took your infirmities for your peace, I took this for that, I took this for that, I took this for that. That wasn't necessarily done in the Old Testament. Okay? So what we have in the New Testament form are powerful. I don't know how else to say it. The new is better than the old, and that's what I'm going to read right here. Matthew 9:17. I feel like I'm taking forever. I'm so sorry. I'm just... Oh. Okay. Matthew 9:17. Jesus' question about fasting. So in context, this is talking about fasting. The Pharisees are asking him about why his disciples don't fast. And again, this is talking about the old and the new, okay? And this is what Jesus gets at in verse 17. Nor do they put new wine into old wineskins, or else the wineskins break. The wine is spilled, and the wineskins are ruined. But they put new wine into new wineskins, and both are preserved. This is fascinating because that's what Jesus is talking about. He's talking about the old and the new, okay? And he's saying, you know, people try to put this brand new wine, right, this brand new stuff, into this old bin, into this old wineskin, and it doesn't work. That old wineskin was not made to handle this new wine. Now, I don't know wine's chemical breakdown or balance or why it would destroy an old wineskin. That I'm not really sure. But obviously, Jesus is making this a point, and they seem to understand what he was saying. So there's some kind of relevance here. So in the wineskins, but then he says they put the new wine into a brand new wineskin. So this is all brand new. This New Testament thing is all brand new. New covenant, new promises, new this, new that. Better than the the covenant of Abraham. This is better. The covenant of Christ is better than the covenant of Abraham. We have Abraham's and then some because of everything that Jesus did while he was here on this earth. Okay? So we can't take the examples from the Old Testament and say, see, this is how it is or this is how it was. No. This is new stuff. We can't be blending the two in this regards. We can't be like, yeah, God only heals on Monday. No. That's not what we're getting at. God, this is new. This is all brand new. Jesus died on the cross and we're already healed. Boom, it's a done deal. Because he took all those stripes as a bonus. He took that thorn as a bonus. He took that spear as a bonus. He was beaten as a bonus. These are all bonuses, okay? So it's a done deal, all right? And then another part, I think it's, I don't have to read all of them, but I think Mark 2:22, I think it says the same thing. And Matthew's a long book. 2:22, let me see what it says here. And no one puts new wine into old wineskins, or else the new wine bursts the wineskins. The wine is spilled, and the wineskins are ruined, but new wine must be put into new wineskins. Yeah, so same thing there. And then Luke 5:36-39, I'm going to gander that. That says the same thing as well. What did I say, Luke 5:36-39? So anyways, so I'm not saying the old is irrelevant, so don't hear me saying that the Old Testament is relevant and we throw it away. That's not what I'm saying at all. Again, this is not a sermon or topic or teaching on the Old Testament versus the New Testament or the Old Covenant versus the New Covenant. This is just how do we take Scripture in context with healing, and that is that the new has better promises than the old, and they don't blend together. Okay. What did I say? Yeah, then he spoke a parable. This is verse 36, Luke 5:36. No one puts a piece from a new garment on an old one, otherwise a new one makes a tear, and also the piece that was taken out of the new does not match the old. Jesus is not making this stuff up. And no one puts new wine into wineskins, or else the new wine will burst, and the wineskins will be spilled, and the wineskins will be ruined. But new wine must be put into new wineskins, and both are preserved. And no one having drunk old wine immediately desires... Oh, that's why I wanted to read this, because of verse 39. And no one having drunk old wine immediately desires new, for he says the old is better. Is it? I don't know. Jesus is kind of leaning towards the other way, that the new is better. So the new covenant, the new testament, the new stuff that Jesus did is better than the old. We got more promises, more good stuff. So this is why I'm just using this as an example for healing. Refuting why people say, well, look at the Old Testament, and then they try to tack that onto healing. I'm sorry, those two don't just line up. They just don't. Okay, next. We live in a fallen world, okay? Again, we're talking about why healings aren't prevalent and why isn't everybody healed. So we live in a fallen world, right? We got an adversary, Satan, and we make a lot of mistakes if you haven't noticed your own life. Let's see, fallen world, Satan, what? Genesis 3:17 through 19 talks about how the world is totally fallen now. So if you have a problem with that, it's Genesis, whatever I just said, 3:17 through 19. And it just simply says, let me just read that for you. I probably don't need to be reading all this. I need to work on that. 17, and then to Adam he said, because you have heeded the voice of your wife, and have eaten from the tree of which I commanded you, saying, you shall not eat of it. Cursed is the ground for your sake. In toil you shall eat of it all the days of your life. Ouch. Thanks, Adam. Both thorn and thistles it shall bring forth to you, and you shall eat the herb of the field. In the sweat of your face you shall eat bread, till you return to the ground, for out of it you were taken. For dust you are, and to dust you shall return. So we're simply saying, he's simply cursing the earth, and that sucks. So we live in a fallen world, a place where everything is not perfect anymore. It's not the Garden of Eden anymore, okay? So we see problems going on, and people getting sick, and people born with infirmities, and people born sick, etc., because we live in this crazy world, okay? Yes, it was the world God created, but originally it was perfect. All right. And then Satan, John 10:10. I think this is what I think this is, I'm going to probably scream your ears off, okay? John 10:10. Ah, yes. Okay, Jesus' own words about being the good shepherd, okay? Then Jesus said to them again, most surely I say to you, I am the door of the sheep. All who ever come before me are thieves and robbers, but the sheep do not hear them. I am the door. If anyone enters by me, he will be saved and will go in and out and find pasture. Now, the thief comes to kill... Oh, the thief... I'm sorry, I'm reading a different version, but what I know. The thief does not come except to steal and to kill and to destroy. I have come that they may have life and that they may have it more abundantly. Overflowing, surplus, over and above, more than enough. Okay, extraordinary, super efficient. Pooh, that's awesome. Okay, so but yet we tack this on to God, and we're like, God doesn't want everybody healed. But then Jesus was like, hello, the enemy comes to, like a thief, to steal, kill, and destroy. Why do we forget the second part of this verse? Why are we just like, the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy, great, so my life sucks? No, it goes on. I have come to give that you may have life and life more abundantly. Abundant life, right? So this includes those things, okay? Because we already looked up sozo, we already looked up all that stuff. So again, just a point to say that we put the blame on God and we're like, God doesn't want people healed. That's not true. Jesus came to give life and life more abundantly. The enemy is the one that's trying to kill you, destroy you, steal from you, take everything you got, rob you blind, and leave you naked. And while the whole time he's like, angel light. He's like, man, look at me, I'm so cool. Please. So, okay. So we live in a fallen world. These are reasons why people are not sick. We deal with an enemy who's trying to kill us, who wants nothing good for us, just in case if you didn't know. So this is another reason why people aren't getting healed all the time, is because we got to deal with this stuff. And then our own mistakes, as I was talking about Paul earlier, we reap what we sow. So if I go out and again, I'm using smoking, so forgive me if you smoke. I'm not beating you up. But if I go out and smoke since I'm 13 and then I'm getting to be, 40 or 50 or whatever, and my lungs, I'm coughing up blood or I'm emphysema or whatever all these crazy diseases are, there's a reason for that. It's because I had been smoking and I probably shouldn't have been smoking, right? So we reap what we sow. So we make bad choices when we're usually younger, and we make all these bad decisions, and then we wonder why we get sick later down the road. I know somebody who laid out on the beach every single day. Every single day they laid out on the beach when they were a kid, and their dad told them not to, put on sunscreen. They didn't listen. They thought it would be no big deal. 20 or so years later, you know what happened? They got skin cancer. Oh my God. Why is this happening to me? I can't even fathom this. This is crazy. I'm saved. I'm a Christian. I'm protected. I'm this, that. Yeah, you sure are. But were you like hating your father when you were 10? 8, 9, whatever it was, and putting on that sunscreen, or whatever it was he was asking you to do? So why is it such a shock that all of a sudden you got skin cancer? Oh no, it's God. Oh no, it's not. You should have listened when you were a kid. You made a mistake. Deal with it. Okay. Now this person that had this happen, they did get healed. Praise the Lord. God totally healed them, but they still reaped what they sowed. They still made a mistake when they were younger. They had to deal with it when they got older. It's like we expect these things to happen overnight. Like, if I break my foot, oh, instant pain, right? But if I go, I don't know, if I do something for a long enough time and I never get caught or nothing ever bad happens, I'm just thinking, oh, I'm invisible, nothing. It'll catch up to you eventually. I'm sorry, but it will. It just will. Okay? And then you're going to have to deal with it. And then people are like, I can't believe this is happening to me right now. What am I doing? Oh, the last 5 years was so great. I don't know. What did you do 20 years ago? Maybe check that out. All right, anyway, so our own mistakes. So I don't need to go into our own mistakes. Oh, there was another verse that went along with Satan. 1 Peter 5:8. It's a pretty popular verse as well. And that is the enemy. I don't want to misquote it, but 1 Peter 5:8. The enemy. Be sober. Be vigilant. Because your who? Adversary, the devil, walks about like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. That's a big deal, because it seems that he may devour you if you're not doing what verse 9 says. Resist him, steadfast in the what? The faith, knowing that the same sufferings are experienced by your brotherhood in the world. So, you got to resist the devil, okay? Resist the devil, he will flee. That's another verse in the Bible. We got to fight against this stuff, okay? We can't just sit back and expect everything to be just perfect all the time and just be like, oh, look at me, la da 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 da. Satan's trying to devour you. He's trying to kill you. So if you're letting him, don't become crying to me and say, look, I'm sick and it's God's fault. Shut up. It's not. You are letting the devil do something in your life because you are not resisting him. Okay? Sorry. That's it. Here's another one. Does that mean that they aren't saved? Does this mean, so if people aren't getting healed left and right, does it mean that that person is not saved? No, absolutely not. Has nothing to do with your salvation. Your healing from this, that, or the other, whatever infirmity, sickness, disease, whatever, has nothing to do with your salvation. Your salvation is period over out Romans chapter 10. Okay? Where is Romans? It's after wherever I'm at right now. So Romans chapter 10 is where we get the whole confess with your mouth and believe in your heart thingy, right? Verse 8, Romans 10 verse 8, but what does it say? The word is near you, in your mouth and in your heart. That is the word of faith which we preach. That's what I'm preaching, right? So that if you confess with your mouth the Lord Jesus and believe in your heart that God has raised him from the dead, you will be saved. It doesn't go on to say, and if you believe for your infirmities and sicknesses and disease, you'll be saved. No, this has nothing to do with your salvation. Yes, they coincide because, again, that word sozo, it entails everything, but you are not going to go to hell, or wait, you're not going to get sent to hell because you didn't get healed. Okay? So when I come to people and I say, yeah, this is probably why you're not healed, they're like, oh, you're saying I'm not saved? No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that you just are lacking this, that, or the other. We'll get to that. I'm saving the best for last because this is what everybody's like, okay, just tell us already. You're giving all these goofy little examples of this, that, and refuting this and that, but just tell us why people aren't getting healed.